Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Phúc, a university lecturer from Hanoi University of Languages and International Studies, a member of Vietnam National University, and as a lecturer with an interest in doing research in language learning and teaching, I wish to learn new things from other educators. And I also wish to share my own 10-year teaching experience in this international conference via TESOL. And it's my honor today to present my research entitled The Impacts of Project-Based Learning, PBL, on the Academic Performance of Non-English Major Students at Level B1. And my presentation today covers 6 main points. The first one is rationale for the study, and next one is literature review, research methods, and next findings, and finally some implications, conclusion for my study. And the reasons why I chose PBL for my research comes from the reason for this come from a new concept, 4Cs, a new concept in the early 20th century called 4Cs. And it has been proven that PBL is one of the most effective activities to foster students' 4C skills in the 21st century. And here, project-based learning. Thanks to project-based learning, students have a chance to fully develop their 4 skills, namely communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. And the objectives for my study involve 4 main key points. The role of PBL in developing students' 4C skills, including communication skill, particularly using English language. The next one is collaboration, critical thinking, and finally is creativity. And in terms of scope, this study, this research title just involves the role of PBL in developing 4 skills in language classrooms. And in terms of participants involved in this study, there were 2 groups of 58 non-majors at intermediate level. And they all come from the same university, University of Engineering and Technology. This is also a member of Vietnam National University. And the next part is literature review. I'm gonna focus on 2 main key points. The first one is 4Cs as a new concept for the early 21st century. And the next one is the focus of my study, that is PBL, project-based learning. So as you know, 4C skill in the 21st century cover 4 main skills. Communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. And it has been proved that all these 4 skills could be learned and taught. And like I said, 4C skills, this new concept was first identified in 2002 by a non-profit organization called Partnership for the 21st Century Skills. And this concept has had a great impact on language learning and teaching globally for almost 20 years. And it has helped reshape education, where researchers and educators have developed the new teaching approaches to foster students' 4C skills. And 4C skills also brings numerous benefits for both educators and learners. Here, in particular, for interaction in daily life and also in academic setting, where people can work in pairs or in groups. Yeah, they can develop their ability to communicate with confidence. That is communication. And when they work in teams, they will collaborate with the other team members, and in this way they can develop teamwork skill, that is collaboration. So the first two C skills involve communication and collaboration for interaction. And the next C is critical thinking. Yeah, critical thinking is simply defined as a process, yeah, where learners will think of the solutions to solve the problems. Here you can see they try to figure out the solutions to a problem. And yeah, in-depth critical thinking involves many different processes, like how to analyze the issues, and how to generate ideas, and how to and also try to sort out the things with solutions and give reasons for choosing the solutions. And also learners are supposed to evaluate, are expected to evaluate the solutions right after solving the issues, whether they work for this particular issue or not. And critical thinking is a skill built to conduct thorough analysis of issues and deal with them. The last C is creativity, which sometimes we are confused and mistaken it for critical thinking, but actually they are different. Critical thinking focuses on thinking of the ways to solve the problems, whereas creativity associates with the products made by learners. And creativity is a process of turning imaginative ideas into reality. And it involves two processes, thinking and producing, according to Nyman 1998. And innovation is the production and or implementation of an idea. But actually, nowadays, the processes of creativity should also involve reflection, because once the students think about think about how to make a product and present their product. Once they finalize the products, they submit the products, they need to reflect and to see whether their products are of high quality or not, or whether they should make any kinds of changes for the next project, for the next products. So we can see that critical thinking involves solving a problem, whereas creativity involves making products. And according to Robinson 2005, creativity can be supported, encouraged, and cultivated, as well as weakened, suffocated, and even killed. If teachers aside or conduct ineffective activities, they will be counterproductive. And this is a big question: how to foster learners' 4C skills in the 21st century. Here's the answers somehow. We know that students can be categorized into two types, namely visual learners who learn by seeing, and the second type belong to kinesthetic learners, hands-on learners who learn by doing and experiencing. And for both learners, we need to teach and encourage them to best maximize their 4C skills. And then for all, after all, the students will become rounded people with all these 4 skills, because they could put all theories into practice, and they could handle the real life situations. And as for project-based learning, this is the focus of my study today. PBL is a model that organizes learning around projects, learning by doing projects or based on projects. This was introduced by Thomas 2010. And PBL is an interdisciplinary student-centered activity with clearly defined project outcomes to foster learners' autonomy and 4Cs in real-world practices. This is according to Han 2015. So, project-based learning. What are the benefits of these? And why should we use PBL? Well, it has been proved that PBL could have engaged students in real-world tasks. This is obvious because the students, they do their projects, they conduct their projects. They are assigned with the authentic tasks in real life. So that's why they could learn a lot and they could put theories into practice. This is according to Bell 2010. And the next benefit is PBL could have enhanced students' content understanding according to Han 2015. This is also another obvious point because, once the students have learned the language, the input in class, they need to recycle the input and they need to put all the input into practice. So in this way, they will learn more and more. This is a second chance for them to look back, to recycle the knowledge and also expand the knowledge. In this way, they could learn a matter in depth. And the last benefit presented in here is to foster students' 4C skills, particularly language skills, also according to Han 2015. So that's all for the literature review involving 4C's concept and PBL. And now I will move to the next main point, that is research methods. This is an action research actually, but I try to integrate all 3 instruments here for my research, including questionnaire, semi-structured interviews, and classroom observations to find the results. And my study involved, like I said, 2 groups of 58 non-majors at B1 level. And this study was conducted for 2 semester school year, 2019 at University of Engineering and Engineering and Technology. And these are the different kinds of projects I assign my students. The first main category involves synchronous projects. Why do I call them synchronous? When we teach in class, we try to integrate projects, mini projects in our lesson, right within class hours. And the students, they are supposed to finish, to do and finish their projects right in class. And the tasks here involve designing VNU logo, creating and advertising product, designing a travel flyer, and designing a newsletter on Teachers' Day. Apart from synchronous projects, which are simple tasks, I try to integrate and challenge my students with asynchronous tasks projects, which were more complex. These projects include university tour, in which students, they had to make a video while they took a tour around their university. And the second big project was Hanoi tour. And in this, this is very special because the students, they could choose a site within Hanoi city, and they would make a future video about it. Of course, before making a video, they had to do lots of research to gather information about the site. And as for the synchronous projects right in class, the students were supposed to deliver a short presentation. But in asynchronous projects, I mean the projects conducted outside the class hours, the students would deliver a well-prepared group presentation. So that's why they were more complex. And you see, during my teaching, I try to integrate both simple and complex projects to motivate my students as well as develop their skills, language skills. So here are some documentaries for the synchronous projects. The first one was designing a VNU logo. Yeah, in this task, the students were supposed to design a new logo, and they had to present the meanings hidden or shown in the logo. And I try to encourage my students to represent the university members of VNU, because you know, Vietnam National University consists of different members. I also provided them with useful language for their presentation here. And this is just a picture of the logo, one logo, made by my students. Within 15 minutes, including the time to design the logo and also the time to prepare for the presentation, the students, they managed to complete a new logo representing all the members of Vietnam National University. You can see here the symbols represent law, science, pharmacy, languages, technology, economics, and humanity, all of them, with a slogan here. And another synchronous task is designing a travel flyer. Actually, I did assign this in class, and I just expected my students to complete a flyer. They design themselves right in class, but actually we didn't have enough time, so that's why at home the students, they were willing to design a travel flyer and then submit it to me. This is designing a travel flyer. And moving on to asynchronous tasks, which are more complex. These are some pictures of my students doing their big projects together in groups. So this was on Teachers' Day in 2019. You can see here the students were all working together on the same project, trying to create an impressive newsletter to welcome Teachers' Day. Here, this is the almost complete. This is an almost complete task and product. Okay, and the next asynchronous task, the big task, was making a future video, where the students had to go to the site and filming all the things around, including their presentation, and then editing videos, and the final thing is involve delivering a report in class. And most of the students chose Hoàn Kiếm Lake, the old quarter, because there were lots of things to see and do here, and lots of things to present. Okay, and the last project aside involved a university tour. Okay, here the students, they had to take a tour around their university or a university member in Vietnam National University, and they made a film about it, including their presentation. And here are the findings of my study, collected from the questionnaires and interviews first. You can see the students' engagement shown and illustrated in the pie charts for semester 1 and 2. We can see a big difference, from time to time. For example, in semester 1, the students, they showed excitement and also willingness to do the projects. Most of them showed, the willingness. Just 14% felt reluctant to do that. And the reasons for that, were simply because they didn't get along with the other team members. Lots of conflicts, so that's why they didn't want to do the group projects. And moving on to semester number 2, things were different. When 65% of the students showed excitement for the project. They look forward to the projects. They didn't feel any stress in that. And 30% were willing to do that, to participate, and just 5% show reluctance. Okay. And the students, they show more interest in complex projects aside as asynchronous tasks. This was a nice surprise to me because I thought my students wouldn't react positively to complex tasks because they were lazy, but actually they didn't. They were willing to get involved and to get their task done. And they expected complex projects. The next finding involves the confidence in using English. So here you can see from the bar chart here. For semester 1 and 2, things were so different. For asynchronous tasks, the students, they show more confidence. And for semester 2, particularly, almost 100% of the students, they show willingness and excitement to do their asynchronous tasks with confidence. So over time, the students, they show more confidence in using English, especially in complex projects like field trips and university tours. Another finding comes from questionnaires and interviews involving teamwork skill. Here, you can see for semester 2, almost all the students, they responded positively to collaboration, to teamwork tasks, because for semester 2 they really got along together. And I was very lucky because I did have one full school year to work with them, understanding them, trying to encourage them, and trying to make them get close together well. And the students themselves, they found it easier to reach an agreement time by time, and they were more cooperative in shared tasks. For semester 1, I asked the students to work in their fixed groups. But for semester 2, I made a change. The students, they worked with new team members. yeah, but anyway, things went smoothly for the new groups. And the data is also collected from questionnaires and interviews reveal the difficulties reported by my students. The first one is limited time, especially for synchronous tasks conducted in class. Actually, both teachers and students, we didn't have enough time for complex synchronous tasks. So that's why I did say that I assigned the travel flyer designing tasks at home, yeah, as homework, because we didn't have enough time. This was also a complex task that should have been made asynchronous. The next difficulty reported was poor collaboration for semester 1. When the students, they found it really hard to get along and reach agreements together for complex tasks. And the last one is low English level. It seems obvious because the students, my students, were all non-majors, but here. The students, they prefer complex asynchronous tasks, but actually they wish to be guided in class because working on their own outside, before working on their own outside class hours, they told me that they felt safe and they felt more confident with my guidance outside the class hours and also in class for the project to get things done. And here are the findings with some surprising facts from my class observations. In terms of academic performance, I must say that my students' study results improved time by time. And their language skills, especially speaking, were strongly developed. Actually, in the data collected from questionnaires and surveys, questionnaires and interviews, the students reported that they had difficulties in doing projects because of their low English level. But actually, from my observation and as for my for observations, class observations, and I kept record of my students' progress. I kept all the marks of my students time by time, and it has been it was proved that their English language skills was much improved, and not that bad, much better than they reported. And the next point, the next finding was that almost all the students felt excited and willing to do assigned projects. So they got more engaged in active learning process. Surprisingly, yeah, for the next course, I was also in charge of the next course for the next semester. But actually, that course didn't include any field trips, any big projects in the curriculum. So the students, they really wish to include that. Yeah. So this is an evidence showing that they really in favor of projects because they were fully aware of the benefits. And obviously the learning autonomy was much higher because from time to time they could work independently in their work, in the team, assigning tasks, dividing tasks among the team members, and also presenting things. And surprisingly, especially for complex asynchronous tasks, they show more independence. So all of these made me really happy and proud. And it seems like all the effort, the teachers and students' effort were paid off with the projects, the products getting better and better time by time. And here is a documentary, a featured video made by my students. I'm going to show it here. Okay, I'm going to share another file, another screen. That is a video. Oh, please wait. Okay, here. This video was made in 2019 by UET students.
Morning.
And as you can see, you can easily recognize this site. This is Hoàn Kiếm Lake.
To this video, I'm Hiếu, Công, Minh, and Thịnh. Today we're gonna take a trip to Hoàn Kiếm Lake, which is considered the city business central and the main tourism destination.
Okay, all of them were freshmen, first year students, and actually they had to learn a lot. They had to do lots of research, and they had to learn by themselves on how to make a video and gather all the information about the site, and also work together, assigning tasks and dividing tasks together.
Then we will discover some interesting places we have chosen before.
And all the members presented the details of the site. For example, here, this one.
Interesting tale about our national defense against the northern enemies.
About the legend.
The tale is
okay, and then they interview the tourists, the foreign tourists, and as well as the local tourists.
Oh, I love it, really.
And what makes you remember most? What makes you remember most?
Most of Hanoi.
Yeah, and this video showed their confidence. And the future was conducted in semester 2.
Yes.
I think it is this place and around and early in the morning when the people go to the gym and then...
Okay, so we could see that this is only a short video, just around 10 minutes, but actually it requires lots of work, and the students, they had to make great effort to get things done within short time, just 4 weeks to get everything done. And they were supposed to present to they were also supposed to prepare for their oral report right in class after 4 weeks. Okay, and the video, the future video should be submitted within 2 weeks, so that I could give feedback on how to edit the video and what to add. Okay, so they had just very little time to work on their project, but actually finally most of them worked really well, and I must say that I was really impressed by the products. So we get back to our slides here. So I have presented the findings, and now we come to the conclusion. Some implications I would like to share here. It is true that PBL helps learners understand the learned contents in depth and put the ideas into practice. Once we learn something, we spend more time working on it, trying to recall and recycle things we have learned and putting them into practice. We're gonna memorize them for long. So in this way, the students, they have a chance to learn things in depth, thoroughly. And PBL is learner center because it is associated with students' products. This is obvious. And PBL is a tool to strongly motivate language learners and foster their language skills, as well as enhance their learning autonomy. And the last key point involves the advice for teachers. Complex projects should be encouraged and made asynchronous outside the classroom, where students they have more time and more opportunities to maximize their ability and skills, particularly creativity and critical thinking. And then they try to complete their assigned tasks. Yeah. So sometimes we also need to challenge our students because, yeah, who knows? Yeah, students, they are interested in challenging things, not just simple things. So that's all for my research today. And here are the references here. And thank you for listening. And if you have any questions now, just feel free to ask. Thank you.